Hello, my friend. I am so happy you are here today. Before we start, let me ask you something important. Have you ever traveled to another city or country? And suddenly, you could not understand what people were saying. You know the words, but they speak so fast. You try to translate in your head, but the bus is leaving, or the taxi is turning, and you feel confused, nervous, and maybe a little embarrassed. If you have felt that way before, you are not alone. Most English learners experience this. In fact, studies show that almost 9 out of 10 English learners have problems during travel because of small misunderstandings in transportation. English, and one little mistake can change your whole trip. Let me tell you a true story. One of my students, Hannah, had a very important job interview in another city. She took a taxi from the airport. On the way, the driver said, "Take the next exit." Hannah heard the words but tried to translate them one by one. She thought, "Take exit. Do I need to take something with my hands? How do I take an exit?" She didn't understand the real meaning. The driver said it again and again, but Hannah stayed confused. She arrived 45 minutes late, and she lost her chance for that job. Another student, David, had a connecting flight. At the airport, the staff made an announcement, "Final boarding call." This means it's the last time they are calling passengers to get on the plane. But David didn't know the phrase. He thought, "Final call. Who is calling? What is boarding?" He didn't ask anyone. He just waited. When he finally went to the gate, the plane was gone. He missed his connection and had to pay $800 for new tickets. Do you see the problem? In both situations, they knew the words take, exit, final, boarding, but they didn't understand the real meaning when native speakers said them quickly in a travel situation. And in transportation, you don't have time to stop and translate. Imagine these situations. You are in a taxi, and the driver says, "Where to?" You are at a gas station, and someone says, "Fill it up." You are walking on the street, and someone shouts, "Watch out." You are in a car, and your friend says, "Pull over." These are not times to open your dictionary. These are urgent moments. If you try to translate word by word, you lose time, and sometimes you lose more than that. So, here is the golden rule that will save you from travel disasters. Learn these transportation phrases as complete units. Do not break them apart. Do not translate word by word. In today's lesson, you and I will practice 40 essential transportation phrases. If you learn them well, you can go from a confused tourist to a confident traveler. I will say each phrase 3 times. You will copy my voice, my rhythm, and my confidence. Let's start with part 1, basic movement and status. These are the phrases you will use every day when traveling. They help you tell people where you are going, and if you are having problems getting there. Number 1, on my way. This means you are moving now. You are coming. You are already on the road. Say it with me. On my way. On my way. On my way. Number 2, running late. This means you will not arrive on time. Say it with me. Running late. Running late. Running late. Number 3, almost there. This means you are very close. You are just a few minutes away. Say it. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Number 4, just arrived. This means you are here. You have reached your destination. Repeat. Just arrived. Just arrived. Just arrived. Number 5, I'm stuck in traffic. This means you cannot move because there are too many cars. Repeat. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm stuck in traffic. Number 6. ETA 5 minutes. ETA means estimated time of arrival. You will arrive in 5 minutes. Say it with me. ETA 5 minutes. ETA 5 minutes. ETA 5 minutes. Number 7. Where to? This means where do you want to go? Repeat. Where to? Where to? Where to? Number 8. Drop me off here. This means stop right here. Let me out. Say it. Drop me off here. Drop me off here. Drop me off here. Number 9. Pull over. This means move to the side and stop. Say it. Pull over. Pull over. Pull over. Number 10. Watch out. This means be careful. Something dangerous is happening. Say it. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Now, let's practice them all together as complete phrases, not separate words. On my way. Running late. Almost there. Just arrived. I'm stuck in traffic. ETA 5 minutes. Where to? Drop me off here. Pull over. Watch out. Great job. You are already sounding more confident. In the next part, we will learn how to give clear directions so you never get lost and can help others find their way too. You now know how to talk about your movement and status. But what if you need to tell someone where to go, or you need to understand directions from someone else? This is a skill that can save you a lot of time and stress when you travel. In this part, we will learn 10 essential phrases for giving and understanding directions. These are phrases you will hear when you are walking, driving, or using a map. If you know them well, you will never feel lost again. Number 11. Turn left. This means you should change your direction to go left. Repeat after me. Turn left. Turn left. Turn left. Number 12. Turn right. This means you should change your direction to go right. Say it with me. Turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Number 13. Go straight. This means keep moving forward without turning. Repeat. Go straight. Go straight. Go straight. Number 14. Make a U-turn. This means turn around and go back the opposite way. Say it. Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Number 15. Take the next exit. This means leave the highway at the next road. You will hear this a lot when driving. Repeat. Take the next exit. Take the next exit. Take the next exit. Number 16. Take the shortcut. This means use the faster, shorter route. It is the quick way to your destination. Say it with me. Take the shortcut. Take the shortcut. Take the shortcut. Number 17. Avoid rush hour. This means do not travel during the busy traffic times, usually in the morning and evening. Repeat. Avoid rush hour. Avoid rush hour. Avoid rush hour. Number 18. Heavy traffic. This means there are many cars and the movement is slow. Say it. Heavy traffic. Heavy traffic. Heavy traffic. Number 19. Light traffic. This means there are few cars and it is easy to move. Repeat. Light traffic. Light traffic. Light traffic. Number 20. Rush hour. This means the peak travel time with heavy traffic. Say it. Rush hour. Rush hour. Rush hour. Now, let's practice all 10 phrases together as one flow. Repeat after me without stopping between words. Turn left. Turn right. Go straight. Make a U-turn. Take the next exit. Take the shortcut. Avoid rush hour. Heavy traffic. Light traffic. Rush hour. Excellent. You sound more natural already, but let me give you some real-world tips to make these phrases stick in your memory. Tip 1. Use your hands when you say them. When you say turn left, move your hand to the left. When you say go straight, point forward. Using your body helps your brain remember. Tiptoe. Practice these phrases when you are walking outside. For example, when you turn to go to the store, say turn right. When you walk down the street, say go straight. Connect the words to your real movement. Tip 3. Notice them in movies, TV shows, and songs. You will be surprised how often you hear rush hour or heavy traffic in real conversations. And remember, these are not just separate words. They are complete messages. If someone says, take the next exit, you don't need to translate take and exit. You already know it means leave the highway at the next road. In our next part, we will focus on a situation many travelers fear: car problems and emergencies. These moments can be stressful, but with the right English, you will know exactly what to say and do. We have talked about movement, status, and giving directions. But what happens if something goes wrong? What if your car stops working? Or you are in a dangerous situation on the road? These moments can be stressful, but the right English phrases can help you get help quickly and clearly. In this part, we will learn 10 essential emergency phrases for car problems. Listen carefully. Repeat with me. And remember, in emergencies, you don't have time to think, you must speak instantly. Number 21. Car trouble. This means your car has a problem or is not working properly. Repeat after me. Car trouble, car trouble, car trouble. Number 22. Out of gas. This means there is no fuel left in the tank. Say it with me. Out of gas, out of gas, out of gas. Number 23. Flat tire. This means your tire has no air and needs repair. Repeat. Flat tire, flat tire, flat tire. Number 24. Fill it up. This means put gasoline in the tank until it is full. Say it. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Number 25. Check the oil. This means examine the engine oil level and condition. Repeat. Check the oil, check the oil, check the oil. Number 26. Call a tow truck. This means contact a special vehicle to pull your broken car. Say it. Call a tow truck. Call a tow truck. Call a tow truck. Number 27. Jump start. This means use another car's battery to start your dead car. Repeat. Jump start. Jump start. Jump start. Number 28. Close call. This means you almost had an accident but avoided it. Say it with me. Close call. Close call. Close call. Number 29. Slow down. This means reduce your speed. Repeat. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Number 30. Speed up. This means increase your speed to match traffic flow. Say it. Speed up. Speed up. Speed up. Now, let's put all 10 phrases together in one smooth practice. Repeat them as complete units. No breaks between the words. Car trouble. Out of gas. Flat tire. Fill it up. Check the oil. Call a tow truck. Jump start. Close call. Slow down. Speed up. Good job. You now have the language to handle basic car emergencies. Let's imagine a real-life example. You are driving to the airport. Suddenly, your car starts making strange noises. You pull over and see that you have a flat tire. You call a friend. You say, "Car trouble. I have a flat tire. Can you help?" Your friend arrives and says, "I can give you a jump start if the battery dies." You agree and also tell them, "Please fill it up before we go." Now you can continue your journey. Here are some quick tips to remember these phrases in a real emergency. Tip 1. Always speak clearly and a little louder than usual. In emergencies, there can be noise from traffic or weather. Tip 3. Practice saying these phrases while pretending you are in the situation. For example, sit in your parked car and say, "Call a tow truck into your phone." This will help you feel confident if it happens for real. Tip 3. Combine phrases for accuracy. You can say, "Out of gas," "Call a tow truck" or "flat tire." Slow down. This makes your message clear and direct. In the next part, we will move to a different kind of travel challenge using public transportation. You will learn phrases that will help you at bus stops, train stations, and subways, so you never feel confused in a crowd. We have talked about traveling in cars, driving directions, and handling emergencies. But what if you are not driving? What if you are taking a bus, a train, or the subway? Public transportation can be fast, busy, and sometimes confusing even for native English speakers. In this part, we will learn 10 phrases that will help you travel confidently on public transportation anywhere in the world. Number 31. Next stop. This means the following station or place where the vehicle will stop. You often hear this on buses, trains, or subways. Repeat after me. Next stop. Next stop. Next stop. Number 32. All aboard. This means everyone should get on the train now. It's often the final call for passengers. Say it with me. All aboard. All aboard. All aboard. Number 33. Mind the gap. This means be careful of the space between the platform and the train. Repeat. Mind the gap. Mind the gap. Mind the gap. Number 34. Excuse me. Coming through. This means please move aside. I need to pass. Say it. Excuse me. Coming through. Excuse me. Coming through. Excuse me. Coming through. Number 35. Is this seat taken? This means is someone already sitting here? It's a polite way to ask if you can sit down. Repeat. Is this seat taken? Is this seat taken? Is this seat taken? Number 36. Transfer here. This means change to a different line or bus at this station. Say it with me. Transfer here. Transfer here. Transfer here. Number 37. Express train. This is a fast train that skips many stations. Repeat. Express train. Express train. Express train. Number 38. Local train. This is a slower train that stops at every station. Say it. Local train. Local train. Local train. Number 39. End of the line. This means the final stop, everyone must get off. Repeat. End of the line. End of the line. End of the line. Number 40. Platform 3. This means the boarding area is number 3. Say it. Platform throw. Platform throw. Platform 3. Now, let's practice all 10 phrases together as complete units. Next stop. All aboard. Mind the gap. Excuse me. Coming through. Is this seat taken? Transfer here. Express train. Local train. End of the line. Platform 3. You are doing great. Now let's imagine a real travel scene. You are at the train station. You hear, "All aboard." Next stop. Downtown. You look at the sign and see you are on platform 3. You get on the train and see someone sitting alone. You ask, "Is this seat taken?" They say no, and you sit down. Later, you hear an announcement. Transfer here for the airport express train. You get off, walk to the next platform, and here, mind the gap. You step carefully and enter the express train. At the final station, you hear, "End of the line." Everyone leaves the train, and you reach your destination with no confusion. Here's how to remember these phrases easily. Tip 1. When you travel, listen for them in real life. Write them down on your phone and check their meaning later. Tip 2. Practice them at home with role play. Pretend you are on a bus or train and speak the phrases out loud. Tip 3. Watch English travel videos or movies. Listen for next stop. Mind the gap. Or all aboard. Now you know all 40 essential transportation phrases from basic movement to public transport, but to really use them in real life, we must practice them in conversation. That's exactly what we will do in the next part. The sun had been shining all morning, but now, as we walked deeper into the forest, I noticed the light around us slowly changing. The bright golden sunlight began to fade, replaced by a dim, silvery glow. I tilted my head up and saw dark clouds gathering above the treetops. "Oh," I murmured. Kavi, who was walking right beside me, looked up too. "That doesn't look good." Rumi, always quick to panic, said, "Are you sure it's just clouds? What if it's a storm?" Thaylon tried to sound calm. "It might just pass by. Let's keep moving." But even his voice had a small hint of worry. The wind began to pick up, rustling the leaves in a way that made them sound like whispers. Somewhere in the distance, I heard a low, rolling sound thunder. "We should find shelter," I suggested. "It could rain soon, and we don't want to be caught in the middle of the forest without a place to stay dry." Kavi nodded. "Good idea. Let's move faster." We quickened our steps. The path ahead became harder to see as the shadows grew darker. The air felt heavier, like it was holding its breath. Then drip, drip, drip. Raindrops started falling through the canopy, landing on our faces, our hair, and our clothes. At first it was gentle, almost refreshing. But within minutes it turned into a steady shower. Rumi groaned. "Great. Just great. My shoes are soaked." "Shoes can dry," I said with a little laugh. "But we need to think about staying warm. If we get too wet, it will be hard to keep going." Thaylon pointed ahead. "I think I see something." We all turned our heads in the direction he was pointing, through the thick trees. There was a faint outline of something, a structure. Maybe. My heart sped up. Could it be a cabin? A hut? We hurried toward it, rain splashing against our faces, our steps squishing in the mud. The wind howled louder now, and I could hear the trees creaking as they swayed. Finally, we reached it, an old wooden hut, small and worn down, with moss growing on its roof. The door looked crooked, and the windows were covered with dust. "It doesn't look very safe," Rumi said, wrinkling her nose. "Safe or not," Kavi said, "it's better than staying out in the rain." We pushed the door open. It creaked loudly, but it didn't fall apart, which felt like a good sign. Inside, it was dark and smelled like damp wood, but it was dry. There were 2 small benches, an old wooden table, and a few empty shelves. "This will do," I said with relief. "At least we can wait here until the rain stops." We all sat down, trying to catch our breath. The rain outside hit the roof like a drumbeat, and the sound filled the whole hut. I could feel the cool air against my wet skin. But at least the wind couldn't reach us in here. Kavi looked at me and smiled. "You were right. Shelter was a good idea." For a moment, despite the storm, I felt a strange sense of safety. We were together. We were dry. And we had a plan. But deep inside, I had no idea that this little hut would become the place where something unforgettable would happen later that night. The rain poured harder, and the sound was loud on the old hut's roof. We sat close together inside, listening to the storm outside. The wind was so strong that the wooden walls shook a little. I could feel the cold air coming in through the cracks. Kavi took off his jacket and put it around my shoulders. "You'll get sick," he said softly. I looked at him and smiled. "Thank you, but now you'll be cold." He shook his head. "I'm fine. Just stay warm." Rumi was sitting near the door, trying to see outside through a small hole in the wall. "I think the rain will last for a while," she said. "We might need to wait until morning to leave." Thalon sighed. "I was hoping we could find the way back today. My phone battery is almost dead. I thought about our situation. We were lost, far from the main trail, and the storm was getting worse. But somehow, I didn't feel hopeless. We had each other, and when people are together, they can find a way." The storm reminded me of a story my grandmother once told me about her childhood. She said that in hard times, people used to gather in one house, share food, tell stories, and sing songs until the bad weather passed. "When the wind is strong," she said, "friendship must be stronger." I told this story to my friends, and it made them smile. To keep our minds off the cold, Rumi suggested we play a game. "Let's tell stories about our happiest day," she said. Kavi went first. "Mine was the day I won my first swimming medal," he said. "I was so nervous before the race, but when I saw my parents cheering for me, I swam faster than I ever had before." Thalon's happiest day was when his dog had puppies. They were so tiny, and I held them in my hands. It was amazing. Rumi's happiest day was when she saw the ocean for the first time. It was so big and endless. I felt free. When it was my turn, I hesitated for a moment. Then I said, "Today might be my happiest day." Everyone looked surprised. "Even with the storm?" Rumi asked. "Yes," I said, smiling, "because I'm with all of you, and because sometimes, when things are difficult, you discover how strong your friendships really are." The rain kept falling, but the hut felt warmer. Our laughter filled the small space, mixing with the sound of the storm. I looked at my friends, and I knew we would find our way back, and we would remember this night for the rest of our lives. The storm lasted all night. We took turns sleeping because the wind kept making strange sounds outside. Sometimes it sounded like branches breaking. Other times, it was like footsteps in the wet grass. Every time I heard that, my heart beat faster. But Kavi would whisper, "It's just the wind," and I felt calmer. By morning, the rain had stopped, but the forest looked very different. The ground was muddy, and fog covered the trees like a white blanket. Drops of water fell from the leaves, making soft sounds. Everything smelled fresh and wet. Thalon stretched and said, "Okay, we can't stay here forever. We need a plan." Rumi nodded. "We should try to find a river or stream. If we follow the water, it might lead us to a road or village." I remembered seeing a small stream the day before, but I wasn't sure which direction it was in now. The fog made it hard to see far. Kavi looked at his watch. "We need to move before it gets dark again. But first, we should eat something." We had a few energy bars and a small bottle of water left. We each took a little, just enough to keep our strength up. Before leaving the hut, I stepped outside and looked around. The forest was quiet. Too quiet. No birds. No movement, only the sound of water dripping. A shiver ran down my spine, but I told myself to stay calm. We started walking in a single line. Kavi in front, then me, then Rumi, and Thielen at the back. We tried to follow the places where the ground sloped downhill, hoping it would lead to a stream. Every few minutes, Kavi would stop and listen. "Water," he said once, pointing ahead. And yes, I could hear a faint sound, like a small waterfall in the distance. When we finally reached the stream, I felt a wave of relief. The water was clear and cold. We refilled our bottle, and I splashed my face to wake up. Thelon smiled. "Okay, step 1, complete. Now we just follow this." But as we walked along the stream, I noticed something unusual. On the muddy ground near the water were footprints, big ones. Too big to be ours. They looked fresh, and they were heading in the same direction we were going. "Kavi," I whispered, pointing at them. He crouched down to look. His face became serious. "These aren't ours," he said quietly. "Someone else is out here." The forest suddenly didn't feel so empty anymore. We all stood still, staring at the muddy footprints. Thelon broke the silence first. "Okay. So either someone is lost like us, or—" He didn't finish his sentence. Rumi's voice was quiet. "Or they're not friendly." The prints were deep, which meant the person or thing was heavy. The toes pointed forward, but the shape wasn't perfectly human. The edges were smudged, like the feet had slid a little in the mud. My stomach tightened. Kavi stood up slowly. "We'll keep moving, but stay alert. No loud talking. If we hear anything, we stop and listen." The stream bubbled softly beside us as we walked. My shoes made squishing sounds in the wet ground, and every snap of a twig made me jump. The fog had thinned a little, but the trees still felt like they were closing in. After about 20 minutes, Rumi suddenly raised her hand. "Wait, listen!" We all froze. Somewhere ahead, faint but clear, was the sound of movement, branches brushing together, leaves crunching. It wasn't the rhythm of an animal running. It was slower, heavier, like footsteps matching our pace. My heart pounded. Kavi whispered, "We're being followed." We moved again, this time a little faster. The sound followed. When we stopped, it stopped. My hands were sweating even though the air was cool. Thelon tried to joke. Maybe it's just some guy who also likes hiking in creepy forests. But his voice cracked a little, and we all knew he wasn't really joking. We reached a bend in the stream where the water widened into a small pool. That's when we saw it, a shadow moving between the trees on the other side. Tall, broad-shouldered, too far away to see clearly, but definitely watching us. Rumi's hand grabbed my arm. "We need to go. Now." Kavi didn't argue. We turned away from the stream and moved quickly through the trees, not caring about the noise anymore. The shadow didn't follow at first, but after a few seconds, I heard it again, the heavy steps. Faster this time. The forest ahead looked darker, but we had no choice. We ran, and then, through the branches, I saw something unexpected. Wooden posts, a small fence, and behind it, the outline of a cabin. "Over there," I shouted, my voice shaking. We didn't know if anyone lived there, but at that moment, it was our only hope. We sprinted through the wet grass and pushed open the creaky wooden gate. The cabin looked old. Its walls were dark from years of rain, and the roof sagged a little on one side. But right now, it felt like a safe island in the middle of a storm. Kavi reached the door first and tried the handle. It was locked. He knocked hard. "Hello, is anyone here?" No answer. Thelon looked over his shoulder, eyes wide. "It's still behind us." He pointed, and I caught a glimpse of the shadow again, moving quickly between the trees. Rumi didn't wait. She ran to the side of the cabin and found a small window. "Help me open this," she whispered urgently. The glass was dirty, but when Kavi pushed, it slid up with a loud squeak. One by one, we climbed inside. My shoes hit the wooden floor with a dull thud, and I immediately smelled dust and old wood. The room was small, with a table, 2 chairs, and a fireplace filled with cold ash. Cobwebs hung from the corners. It didn't look like anyone had lived here for years. Kavi quickly shut the window. Everyone stay quiet. We listened. The footsteps outside slowed, then stopped. For a long moment, there was only the sound of our breathing and the distant call of a crow. Then tap, tappy, tap. Something hit the outside wall. Not hard, but slow and deliberate. My heart felt like it was beating in my throat. Rumi's voice was barely a whisper. They know we're here. Thalan clenched his fists. We can't just sit here and wait for whatever that is. Kavi looked at me. His eyes were calm, but I could see the tension in his jaw. There's a back door. We could try to get out while they're in front. Before we could decide, a strong gust of wind rattled the cabin, and the front door creaked as if something was pushing it. My knees felt weak. Suddenly, the tapping stopped. We waited, not sure if it was gone or just waiting for us to move. Then, from the back of the cabin, we heard a slow, heavy footstep on the porch. And that's when we realized whoever had been following us wasn't outside anymore. The sound of the footstep froze us in place. No one spoke. No one moved. I could feel my hands trembling as I gripped the edge of the dusty table. Another step, and another, slow, heavy, coming from the back of the cabin. Kavi glanced at me and mouthed, "Stay behind me." Rumi's breathing was fast, and Thalan's eyes darted toward the fireplace, as if he was thinking of grabbing a piece of wood to defend us. The back door creaked open. A cold wind rushed inside, carrying the smell of rain and wet earth. And then, a figure stepped into the dim light. It wasn't a monster. It wasn't even a stranger. Uncle Dan. Kavi gasped. The tall man in a raincoat looked just as surprised as we were. "Kavi, no, what are you doing here?" he asked, setting down the lantern in his hand. My chest loosened with relief. Rumi laughed nervously. We thought you were something else." Uncle Dan explained that he owned this cabin as a hunting lodge. He had been tracking a wild boar earlier when he noticed our group in the forest. "I called out to you, but the wind was too loud," he said. "When you started running, I thought you might be lost or in trouble." We all exchanged sheepish glances. The shadow we'd been running from had been him all along. Thalan sighed. "Well, at least it wasn't a ghost." Uncle Dan invited us to stay in the cabin until the storm passed. We lit a fire, warmed our hands, and listened to the rain drumming gently on the roof. Kavi sat next to me and smiled. "See, I told you we'd be okay." I smiled back, remembering our earlier conversation about courage. "Yeah," I said softly. "Sometimes courage is just holding on until the truth shows itself." When the rain stopped, we walked back down Misty Hill together, the forest looking far less scary than before. And though we had come here just for a hiking trip, we left with a story none of us would ever forget, a story about fear, friendship, and the things that aren't always what they seem. Thank you so much for joining me on this story today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you practice your English speaking and listening with the shadowing technique. Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you will become. Every word you speak is one step closer to fluency. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends who are also learning English. This is Nu, saying goodbye for now. Take care, stay curious, and keep speaking English every day. See you in the next video. Good.